Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I'm here to talk about books. We are starting this reading vlog off on a Sunday. It's February 8th, so it's less than a week from Valentine's Day. I've mostly focused on my main genres, which were horror and thriller, but I figured for Valentine's Day we could mix it up a little bit and do a romance reading vlog. Kind of like mood read the things that I have available to me. So I don't have a set TBR yet, but I do have like a couple of options lying around. Right now, the book that I am really gravitating towards is Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. This one is about like a one-night stand, but they get stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean. And so like they're kind of forced to be together. My eyes have been drawn to it with like the color and how bright it is. So I think I'm gonna start off with this one. I apologize if you guys can hear any like noise and stuff in the background. We have the dishwasher running right now. My husband is cooking dinner. So there is some like background noise and stuff, but hopefully it's not too bothersome. It is now Monday evening and I just finished up the last couple chapters of Swept Away by Beth O'Leary. So this book is about two characters named Lexi and Zeke who meet at a bar and then they decide that they're gonna go have a one-night stand. They go off to this like houseboat that's right here, do their thing, and then in the morning they wake up to find out that the boat became unmoored while they were sleeping and they have drifted off to the middle of the ocean. The houseboat has no gas because there was no intention for it to have left the place where it was docked, and they're just kind of stuck and trying to survive. So one of the things that I really like about this book is that it is like a romance. And then for a lot of the story, it also has this like thrillery side plot that was really interesting and keeping me captivated. So I feel like this was actually a perfect book for me to transition from like reading a lot of horror and thriller all the time to my romance side. Another thing that I feel like this book really touched on was the female main character who had a lot of struggles with like insecurity and like comparing herself to people on Instagram. And when they're stuck out in the ocean, she doesn't have like cell phone reception. So she's kind of forced to be like put into the now, like this time here, there's nobody to compare yourself to. There's a person here who finds me very attractive and feeds me like a lot of compliments. So she just has to come to terms with the fact that she is beautiful in her own ways and that like there's more to life than seeing what other people have and like what other people look like. So that whole aspect was something that I found really interesting and I was not expecting at all with this story. And I feel like that was definitely one of my favorite parts. I did have some things that I didn't really like about this book and some parts of it that made me kind of want to skim and that I wasn't interested in. Like it did lose its momentum at some point in the story, especially around that like third act conflict. Once that the reveal came out of like what the problem was going to be between these two, I feel like after that it kind of like felt flat for a little while and then it picked back up. But I think I'm gonna end up landing on a 3.5 for this story because I did enjoy my time with it. It served its purpose. And yeah, I think also when I was looking at this author's backlist, there were some other books that were kind of catching my eye. So I think I might look more into other books written by Beth O'Leary. So yeah, like I said, right now my husband is cooking dinner. We're having shrimp tacos with like rice and beans. And then we're probably going to watch Stranger Things because we've been rewatching the show from the beginning in preparation for season 5. And then we've had like very little time to actually watch the show. So we're finally at season 5 and just watched episode 1 last night. So we're definitely jumping back into Stranger Things tonight. But while I wait for that to happen and while I wait for dinner to be done, I think I'm going to start on my next book, which is called Petty in Pink by Shen. This is a actually newer release. I think it came out like last week. And I just saw it on Kindle Unlimited. This one specifically in the description of the book had mentioned Valentine's Day, so that's kind of why I gravitated towards it. It also has this cute cover with like the chocolates and stuff on there. So yeah, I will give you guys an update on this one once that I have one. Mobile order for Ashley. I'm here a little bit early, but I did get some breakfast. I got the avocado toast at Dunkin'. It has sourdough, the avocado spread, bacon, and everything bagel seasoning. It's so good. And then I also got the iced Dunkin' latte with raspberry, extra espresso, and chocolate cold foam. And delicious. I did start on Petty in Pink last night. And this book, in the very beginning, it was very like smutty. And I was like, oh no, what did I get myself into? Because I'm not really the type of person that's into the super smutty romance books that have like shirtless men on the cover. Okay, I'll keep reading it a little bit and kind of see, you know, where it goes, if it has plot or if it's literally just smut, because those are like not my favorite. But it's okay because the beginning of this book with like the smutty parts of it was just setting up the relationship dynamic between the two main characters, because they are extremely long-term like hookup buddies. They've literally been hooking up for like 10 years exclusively, but neither of them discusses that with the other one. We also are getting like both points of views from the male main character and the female main character, so you are seeing like what their feelings are towards each other. Layla is the female main character and she had her heart broken. She like swears off men, but she does sleep with Grant. She has a huge commitment phobia and is very scared of the idea of like an actual relationship with somebody. And he has very strong feelings for Layla, but he tries to like respect her boundaries and not push her too much, because he really doesn't want to screw things up with her. But his friends are always telling him like, you need to branch out and find somebody else because Layla is emotionally unavailable. So that's like kind of the situation between these two. The very beginning of this book starts out with Layla going to her friend's wedding, and it's on Valentine's Day, and she kind of crashes the wedding. When she leaves, she calls Grant to come pick her up, who is on a date with somebody else, and he's like, I gotta go. They go back to his apartment, yada yada. The smuttiness starts. So that's kind of like where things are going. There is like something that happens that I don't want to spoil because it doesn't say it in the synopsis. I don't think. I didn't like read the full thing. I kind of just skimmed it. But yeah, now we're getting into actual plot and like things are happening, and I do find it very interesting. I definitely want to keep reading this one. I'm not going to DNF it. It's not cringy. So that is the current situation with the book, and I just got to work. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. So it is like 8 p.m. on Wednesday, and I have a reading update. I'm filming this super late because I've had a very long couple of days, like with just work being really busy. And then yesterday I had to pick my husband up from work, which he got off at midnight. So I didn't end up going to bed until like 1 a.m. And then I had this super bizarre thing that happened to me this morning, which this has happened to me before, where I'll be like in a really deep sleep and then something will jolt me awake. And that happened today at exactly 5 o'clock in the morning. So I thought I heard somebody like aggressively banging on our front door, and then I thought I heard a phone ringing. So I woke up panicked because I was like, oh my God, like I'm late for work or something happened. Picked up my phone and I went to go check like our front door camera to see what that was. But I was still half asleep. So I opened up like the Roku app on my phone. I was just staring at it, confused and tired. And my husband woke up and he was looking at me and he's like, why are you awake right now? And I'm like, I just woke up. Did you hear somebody banging on the door? And he was like, no. Because there definitely wasn't someone banging on the door. We have dogs. The dogs would have been barking, but it just freaked me out. And it freaked my husband out. I think it was one of those situations where I was just in a super deep sleep and something in my dream woke me up, but I hadn't distinguished the difference yet between like my dream and my reality. And then today I had another busy day at work. So I got home today, did some stuff around the house, took a shower, and here I am with a reading update. Yesterday I did end up finishing Petty in Pink by LJ Shen, and I surprisingly liked this book. There were some parts of it that I still felt like were a little bit cringy. Like the male character in this book, I felt like he was really sweet at times and that he was kind of just like the perfect book boyfriend type thing. And it felt a little bit forced in some ways, but then it also had that like cocky male character in a smut romance type of vibes to him. So I couldn't decide whether or not I liked him. I did like the character Layla. I felt like she had a very relatable character arc in that she was hurt in the past and that she really had trust issues and had a hard time opening herself up to the possibility of like another relationship because she was worried about getting hurt and like admitting to herself that she had feelings for somebody that were more beyond like the casual relationship that they were having for so long. So I did like this book. I did enjoy it, and I liked the tropes that were in here. I found them to be really fun to read. It was super entertaining and a very quick, just like hard to put down because it was written really well. So yeah, I did like this book. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Today on my lunch break, I did pick up the next book that I'm reading for this vlog, which is The Love of My Afterlife by Kristy Greenwood. And this one is more of like a rom-com. So I feel like it is a completely different vibe. I like the mix of genres within the romance that I'm getting in this reading vlog just by mood reading. Like I'm picking up some of these books blind. This one I knew had like the kind of comedic aspect to it, and it was more like a rom-com. And that was kind of the reason why I bought this book. It's giving like magical realism romance, which is one of the ones that I tend to gravitate towards under the romance umbrella. I am only 40 pages into it, but I can tell you that this book follows a character named Delphi. We are starting off with this character finding out that she actually just passed away. She is now in the afterlife. She choked on a hamburger, which is like so embarrassing for her. She's like, this is humiliating. Of course, this would be the way that I would go out in my mismatched clothes, my pickle colored socks, eating a hamburger. So then she meets this really bubbly woman named Merritt, who is just like over the top and kind of obnoxious, but in a really funny way. Like it's comical for the situation that she's in. But Merritt is supposed to be like an afterlife therapist. So she's the person who meets these people right after they've passed away. They come to her and she kind of walks them through like, this is what happened. Let me make sense of everything that you're going through right now and what's on your mind. And she offers them like a video that goes through their memories and their life. And Delphi's just so happens to be like really depressing and boring. And she's like, great, I'm so glad that I'm here right now. You can also run into other people who have also recently passed away. So she runs into this man whose name is Jonah. And it's kind of like love at first sight, but they're both supposed to be dead. He's confused because he's like, I was just going in for a dental procedure and they gave me medicine and I don't know why I'm here. Like, did I die? They start talking. There's like some chemistry. And then here comes Merritt and she's like, oh no, I was just notified this was a mistake. He's not dead. He's just unconscious temporarily. He's not supposed to be here right now. So she sends him back. And then Delphi's like, whoa, what just happened there? Do you have the powers to bring people back to life? Can you do that for me? I wasn't ready to die. Like, I just choked on a hamburger. So she was like, I can do this for you, but in return for a favor. You have 10 days to do this favor for me, or else you will die and you will come back here again. If you succeed, you can keep your life. Delphi's like, please don't trade it. Use it on me. Send me back. I'll do whatever it is that you need me to do. And she was like, well, I want to test this one theory. I think Jonah may have been your soulmate, and I think that's why you met him. If I can send you back to Earth and you can find this man in real life and get him to fall in love with you within 10 days, then you can have your life back. If not, you'll actually die and you'll be sent back here, and too bad. This character already off the bat is pretty lovable and funny to read. Super easy to read, super easy writing. Like, I read 40 pages on my lunch break and I didn't even start reading it until like halfway through my lunch. I'm just gonna call it an early night. Go lay in bed, read this book, and get some sleep. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hey, look, tomorrow is Friday the 13th. And I think that the unluckiness of Friday the 13th started early for me. Like, it started early. Yesterday, I left my phone at work and I had to go without my phone all night because my work gets like locked up and then there's an alarm system, and I wasn't going to ask my supervisor to come back and like undo the alarm and everything to let me back in. So I was just like, screw it. I have an actual alarm clock in my room that I can just turn on and use that. Yesterday when we were at work, my coworkers were talking about donuts and I was like, Dunkin' has Valentine's Day donuts, and any excuse that I can use to go to Dunkin', I'm going to take it. Did I need to go to Dunkin' for a second time in 1 week? Probably not. Did I want to take advantage of it and get myself a coffee and get everyone some donuts? Absolutely. Off to a great start. Got some cute little donuts for everybody. And I got myself a coffee and one of my coworkers a coffee. And then when I was driving to work, I almost got rear-ended, which I was like holding the coffees back and I was like, okay, thank goodness those didn't spill. But as soon as I was turning into the parking lot to get to work, the coffee spilled all over my passenger seat. I'm a girl who cannot live without caffeine, so I was like, great. And then my supervisor, because he's like a really awesome boss, was like, I'm just gonna buy everybody Starbucks today. But yeah, that string of unluckiness, it continued throughout the day, and even like little work tasks and stuff were just not going well. Friday the 13th this year started early, and we get another one next month, which I will be in Seattle. And one of the things that I'm doing on Friday the 13th is a ghost tour. So good luck to me, I guess. Anyways, that is not all relevant to this vlog, but I thought I would share it with you guys because wow, I have gotten almost halfway through Love of My Afterlife by Kristy Greenwood, and this book is so funny and so cute. I think so far this one might be my favorite book that I've read in this vlog because it is thoroughly entertaining. It's so funny. I actually laughed out loud on some parts of this, and I have not had a lot of time to read, but somehow I'm flying through it. So absolutely love that for me. When my husband and I got home from work, we went to the grocery store, got a bunch of stuff to make dinner. This is what we had tonight. It was absolutely delicious. And then we watched Stranger Things. Off topic again, but we watched episode 4 of Stranger Things season 5 today. And oh my God, that was the best episode of the entire show so far. I am so excited to continue watching this show tomorrow. I really did not want to stop watching the show, but it is nearly midnight right now, and I had not filmed an update today, and I do need to go to sleep because tomorrow is Friday the 13th nonetheless, so this girl needs some rest. She needs to be fully prepared for whatever this unlucky streak has to throw at me tomorrow. But yeah, I'm probably gonna keep reading a little bit more of this before I go to bed tonight. and I hope that I can finish it tomorrow, but we will see what happens. We probably will also be watching Stranger Things tomorrow as well. So I'm gonna give you guys an update on this as soon as I have one, but so far, really loving this. I just finished The Love of My Afterlife by Kristy Greenwood, and I think I'm gonna have to give this 4.5 stars. This main character was just so funny and so relatable. She was kind of socially awkward and really struggled to get out there and live her life before this entire situation started. And then afterwards, she's kind of learning to not take time for granted and to get out there and experience life while she still has it, on top of this already really cute idea for like this magical realism romance plot. Absolutely loved it. The reason why I didn't give it 5 stars is because I did predict kind of where it was going and what was going to happen. There were a couple of things thrown in there that I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. But for the most part, I already knew what we were getting at here. But it's not in a bad way. So it's hard to say that that's like a negative thing. But this follows a pretty standard rom-com formula where you like know when you're introduced to certain characters what's going to end up happening with them and what part they're going to end up playing. So I feel like it could have been a little bit more unpredictable, but I still really loved it. I still really enjoyed my time with it. And this is definitely my favorite of the books that I read in this video. I saw some people comparing this to The Dead Romantics by Ashley Polston, and I have not read that one yet, but I did give 5 stars to The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Polston. So I think I kind of have to read that book now. If people are saying that this is like that book, I'm really interested now in picking that one up. So that's now been added to my TBR. Even though I've known about it forever, I know people really love it. My enjoyment level of this one is pushing me towards this one. But this is going to be the last book that I read in this video because tomorrow is actually Valentine's Day and I want to get this video uploaded so that I can spend some time with my husband tomorrow. So yeah, we ended up reading 3 books for this video. Swept Away by Beth O'Leary, Petty in Pink by LJ Shen, and Love of My Afterlife by Kristy Greenwood. 4.5 stars. This was the best one by far. But I still liked all of books I read in this video, which is not a thing for me usually. So maybe I need to read some more romance this year. Maybe this was my sign. If you guys have read any of these books, I would love to know what you think of them. Please let me know down in the comments. But other than that, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.